Hey guys, it's Lynn Denise from On Demand Resources. So check this out, right? Want to have this a very important conversation with you. About 2 weeks ago, I published an article on my blog, Caviar Lifestyle, about death. Now, the conversation to death is a little taboo because people just don't like talking about it, right? They like talking about everybody else's business, what we about to eat, but nobody likes to talk about death. Yes, it's a sad topic, but it's inevitable. It's something that we can't escape, although people will do all they can to escape death. One thing you can do is live your best life. Make sure you take care of yourself, drink water, eat healthy, exercise. Make sure you go to the doctor regularly so that they can, at least check up on you. And we're not going to even talk about how people dread going to the doctor. They'll pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars at their job or as an entrepreneur for health insurance that they will not use. And unfortunately, people don't like to get life insurance either. So earlier this week, you might have heard, or maybe not, that A.J. Johnson of your favorite movie, Friday, passed away. That is very sad news, to the comedy world, because no one likes to lose anyone and no one likes losing legends. But I read an article today that was quite shocking to me. So Mr. Johnson did not have life insurance. Now, he's been acting for as far back as I can actually remember seeing him in a movie. He probably even did a few things, small roles before Her Friday. He was in a lot of things after that. But his wife has started a GoFundMe so that she can bury him. And in an article that she was talking about, and on an interview, she talked about how, everybody was giving fake love because they didn't want to donate to the GoFundMe to help give him a, beautiful send-off, and how nobody's supporting him and everybody's writing these heartfelt posts about him, but they are not his friends. And to be honest, let's talk about it. I think the fake love comes from her because ultimately we know that our loved ones are going to pass. This is not a new phenomenon. It's like not the new, Air Force One coming out or the Air Jordan One coming out or the new Gucci belt. Is something that's promised. There are two things that you're promised to have, and that is your birth date and your death date. The dash in between that goes in your headstone represents the time that you were here. While some, people's two dates may vary and are different and are shorter than others, it's something that you can't escape. So why would they not have the conversation with each other? Hey, you know what? How about we discuss our final wishes? Let's get wills. Let's talk about life insurance. Do you have life insurance? And see, the thing about even just being an entrepreneur, those things are not secure if you don't sign up for them. Like jobs that help you, get life insurance when you come in orientation day. What they say is, hey, you need to sign up for life insurance. This is your life insurance package. This is your benefits package. And you have many jobs who don't even make it optional. They may make it optional for you to opt out and they'll pay you money, if you're on somebody else's insurance or something like that. But it's their way of securing you. And also, sadly, they may get a payout as well. And to secure your family, you may die on the job and there are things in place like that. Or, if you just making sure that your family is secure. If you're not having this conversation, or if you with somebody and you say you love them, have that conversation, whether it's short-lived or not. You don't have to, love the person. I feel like hold on, I'm sorry. You don't have to love the person to have the conversation with them about life insurance. You just don't. Because it's, again, like I said, taboo. People don't like to talk about it. It's a difficult conversation. And ultimately, death is not going anywhere. And if you live in, pardon me, my light is messing up. Sorry. But if you live in Philadelphia, then you know for sure that death is all around us. It's a daily occurrence. It causes trauma. At some point you even just become immune to hearing it. You get jaded, like, oh damn, somebody died again. It's not even shocking anymore. Like if you went to somewhere like Arizona, I don't know the crime rate there, but it may be very different. Like I know sometimes when I watch these crime shows, they have a lower population, and they may say, hey, we have 12 murders a year. Well, ultimately we can't say that in Philadelphia because we have like 430 murders a year and almost like 2,500 shootings some years. So, we cannot say that. But for her to say that, his friends or people that cared about him didn't care about him because they wouldn't donate. So when she started the GoFundMe page, she said that she had only got $700, on the first day. I think to date, she had, probably collected $2,600. So in the article that I read, it said that Michael Blackston donated $10,000, and she said she needed $20,000 to, be okay. She wanted at least, I guess, like $15,000 to bury him, and the rest should be, split amongst his kids and his grandkids. Now, let's be realistic. $20,000 is not enough to split amongst anybody. Because to start, it's about $3,000 just for your burial to even start talking about it. Like, no, they're not charging you immediately, but it's about $3,000 to even start. That's not counting embalming. Now, everybody does not get embalmed. They suggest that you do get embalmed, but depending on your religious beliefs, you may not want to be embalmed. I'm not real, knowledgeable on various religious beliefs. And of course, I'm no expert, but you must consider that. And that's a conversation you also want to have with your loved one. Hey, do you want to be embalmed? And if you're not sure what that means for your religion or what your religion says, you want to check that out as well. You also want to know what your options are. Like, what does that look like? I know that people give you an average on like, hey, funerals range from $8,000 to this amount. You may see commercials that tell you that. So you want to kind of do your research so that if you are paying out of pocket or your family's paying out of pocket, you kind of know what you're looking at. Because you don't want to just have your family in a morgue or sitting at the funeral home until you collect the money. I remember working at the VA hospital, right? Or the administration building, we used to pay burial claims. And with the burial claims, what used to happen was people would pay like $15,000 and only get $225 for their loved one who was a veteran. So you're not even really getting any real money back on, the money that you pay for the burial. $225 is nothing. Like, you got people who literally can blow that in an hour. Or matter of fact, a minute buying some, something designer or a coat or, whatever they like to do, pastime, whatever you like, whatever you're into. But have the conversation. People just have to get accustomed to talking about it. I don't know why it's such a hard conversation, because if anything, maybe before COVID, understandable, right? It probably was understandable. A lot of people didn't talk about it, but people are literally just leaving the earth unexpectedly, like faster than you could say it. And COVID, for sure, whether you believe that it exists or not, has really put people in a bad space. Like, I've seen people who put a post up like, hey, Lord, can y'all pray for me? COVID got me. And then literally days later, they were gone. Like, it was shocking. I just had a friend who passed away, and she said, hey, COVID got me. I'm asking God to grant me some more time here on earth. And she didn't make it. And so you just have to keep in mind that we're running out of time slowly. Like, again, I believe that if God calls you home, it's your time. But have the conversation. Have the conversation. Like, a GoFundMe is not an insurance policy. An insurance policy is not even guaranteed. Like, people take out these $1 million policies and do not get them immediately. There are, just like your home insurance, there are things that are included. Well, there are clauses in these insurance policies that, possibly that if it's an accident, you get this amount of money. Or if it's a homicide, you don't get anything. So you want to make sure you read your insurance policy as well. So after watching this video, make sure you go look it up, how much life insurance costs. Now, for those that say I can't afford it or you don't work, still look into it. Probably, like, if they have something that's even small as maybe like $20 a day, $20 a month. I know that may seem like a lot, but of course it will pay off in the end. That if you die unexpectedly and your family member now is like and is frantic and panicking because after they go through a chain of emotions of, I just lost my loved one, wanting to know how you died. Hopefully you didn't suffer, or, it wasn't something tragic or traumatic that happened to you. And hopefully your remains are intact, because people right now are dying in a gruesome fashion, being shot 32 times, being cut up, like their remains is being strode all over Philadelphia, being found in random houses and things like that. So, hopefully they're intact to be even able to have a casket, or that you're even able to bury them, because many families don't even get to bury their family member. They may have a casket that's there and more or less only allowed to, only can have a memorial, which is devastating. So have the conversation. Keep in mind that GoFundMes can be triggered if they sense that it's fraud. There has been an increase in GoFundMes. I mean, people were doing them before for small projects. You have Spread Karma, but then you have the scammers who, I want to start a GoFundMe because I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, and they've gotten caught. The girl with the Gorilla Glue, she started one and they got flagged. You have the people who played like they were homeless and they got $400,000, and then they got charged because they started buying Benzes and houses. And they played the dude because they only gave him $75,000. So they had him, act as if he was homeless, and he really wasn't. And now they're in jail. So now, that didn't work out too well. And then every day, you can scroll down your timeline and find a GoFundMe post to say, hey, my friend was lost their home, in a fire or something like that. So, they need help. And then you're torn because you like, well, which ones do I donate to? Like, even if you're rich, you're still torn about donating $20, $5 to somebody, a total stranger, and you're hoping that the story is genuine. You don't have money. Everybody doesn't have money to donate to 50 GoFundMes a day. Like, every time you see one, you like, oh, I'm gonna get some money. So just keep that in mind, because you have limited time. So a GoFundMe, if your goal is like 50,000 or something like that, while some people do reach their goal, many do not. Of course, you got people who say, oh, if you started one, I'll support you. And the likelihood of you thinking that you could post it and probably get about $20,000 in a day is damn near impossible. You need days to do that, and then making sure that the account that you use is actually accessible. Trying to use a Venmo card or a Cash App card probably won't work. Apple Pay. So they have things where they want to make sure that this account is tied to something that is legitimate. They're not being scammed and all those things. But again, and I will say this again, a GoFundMe is not an insurance policy. If you are watching this video or this live, please talk to your loved one. I know they may look at you strange and be like, well, why are you talking about this? Why are we talking about death? And you could tell them, I just watched the video. Many people are dying around me, and it's got me thinking. It really got me thinking that I need to get my affairs in order. Make sure that you also declare what you want done with your belongings and your estate. Who are you putting in charge of your, your belongings and your possessions afterward? You hear so many stories about how, people or parents have all these kids and they want to leave this one house to their kids, and the kids afterward are fighting over that, or, you got a favorite child that you want to leave all your money to, and they don't deserve it. So it just creates all this turmoil. So to eliminate all of that, make sure you delegate who you want to have what, so that it's set in stone. Make sure you get it notarized so that, it's not, they're not fighting over your belongings that you didn't give them in life. And for those that expect something, like, of course, hopefully you're not waiting for your loved one or parent to die so that you can get their possessions. But you do have people be like, oh, grandma always wanted me to have her house or always wanted me to have her car. Don't do that either. Just, if you want to ask them in life, like, hey, can we have a conversation? It should be a family conversation. We don't mind getting together to have some chicken and some music and smoke some weed and have a couple drinks. So have an affair party. Like, what are we going to do, y'all? Like, grandma may be elderly. And at some point, I think times have changed now with the notion of that only mature individuals die. Like, if you're 80, it was of natural causes. Oh, grandma was older, she died of Alzheimer's. Like, you got newborns passing away. You got teens, kids are not even living to, go into high school, graduate. And in Philadelphia, you could just be collateral damage. Like, you could be going to the store and that'd be your last time. And also, like, say I love you to your loved ones. Like, let them know, because it could be your last time that you're talking to them. A lot of times we harbor things, and say that we would not care if they passed, and then you're the one at the funeral who's like, take me with you. Why was it you? Put me in a casket too. And if that really was an option, you probably wouldn't be feeling that way, or you probably wouldn't be saying that. I think it's just kind of something to say. Oh, it should have been me, not you. And we're on borrowed time. So I don't want to be long-winded. We're on borrowed time. And all I want to close with is a GoFundMe is not an insurance policy. Use Mr. Johnson as a learning tool. No, you shouldn't, have to learn from somebody's death, but he had money and still did not have an insurance policy. Like, it was mind-blowing to me. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, maybe, it just wasn't important. Maybe he had the notion that he was immortal. Maybe he just thought he would live forever. He could make movies, be funny, and just live forever. And that's not rational thinking. Enjoy the time that you have with your loved ones. Many people spend so much time arguing with people while they're with them, and then you had these regrets. Because you like, oh man, I just saw him, we were arguing, and that was your last words. Or you said something hurtful that you can't take back, and they stepped out the door and got hit by a stray bullet, and now everywhere that is safe has been destroyed, whether it be school. I just read an article where somebody got shot in Kroger. Many schools are being shot up. Mass shootings. Kids are taking weapons to school because of the bullying. Whether it be suicide. There are many instances where things are being violated. You can't go to the movies. You can't go to the mall. You can't sit in your car no more for long periods of time, whether it just be out your house, whether you live in the boonies, whether you own a store, you become a target. So be careful, be safe, love on your loved ones, enjoy the time you have, and make sure you get life insurance. Talk to somebody about life insurance. I hope you found this video helpful. Please share this video. Have a good night.